On many of my videos in the comment sections, people have been asking me for a furnace and air conditioner, what brand would I recommend? What is the most reliable? What is the best brand out there to get for a new air conditioner or a new furnace? And my answer always is, don't get too caught up on the brand for your furnace or your air conditioner. The brand doesn't really matter, because the truth is, a handful of companies, a handful of mother or parent companies, own all of the brands. So my recommendation is just go for the best deal, whatever costs you the least amount, because most air conditioners and furnaces will last on average about the same amount of time. And it's really hard to say which brand is the best because there's a ton of variables that come into play, like how big is your house, what is the layout of your house, was the ductwork sized properly in your house, do you replace the furnace filter regularly, what kind of furnace filter do you use, do you ever hose down your outside unit, do you ever do any kind of maintenance, and etc, etc, etc. And of course, that is just my opinion, but Consumer Report did a survey on over 20,000 homeowners where they asked them what brand of AC or furnace they have, how often they had to get it repaired, when they had to get it replaced, and would they recommend that unit to a friend. And here are the results that they got. There's 5 brands that they would not recommend. They got the lowest ratings, and those 5 were Coleman, Frigidaire, Luxair, Maytag, and York. So those 5 apparently you should avoid because people have been having the most problems with those 5 brands. And then there was 5 brands that got the best rating of excellent for satisfaction, and those were Lennox, American Standard, Trane, Carrier, and Bryant. So those 5 were the highest rated. And I, right here, have an American Standard, and it's been going great. This thing is 1999, so it's 20 years old now, and it's been running like a champ. Hopefully it'll run for another 10 years before I have to replace it. Well, and that's what Consumer Reports had to say about which brand is best for AC or furnace. And I just want to briefly come back to how I said that a handful of companies pretty much own all of the brands. And I just want to break that down for you so you know who makes what, or who owns which companies. The biggest mother company out of them all is United Technologies, and those are the guys that own Carrier, Bryant, Payne, Day and Night, and they also own ICP, which stands for International Comfort Products, and those guys make Arco Air, Keep Right, Hale, Tempstar, and Comfort Maker. Next up, we have Lennox International, and Lennox International makes Lennox, Duquesne, Armstrong, Concord, Allied, Air Ease, and Airflow. And then there's Rheem, which also makes Rude, and those are the only 2 brands that they have. The next one is Daikin Global. Those guys own Daikin, Goodman, Amana, and Janitrol. Next we have Johnson Controls. Those guys own York, Luxair, and Coleman. Next we have Ingersoll Rand. They make American Standard and Trane. After that there's Nortec Global HVAC. They make Frigidaire and Maytag. And lastly there's Wolf Steel. They make Napoleon and Continental. So there you have it. I think that kind of helps paint a picture so people understand that behind every single brand, there is not an individual company. For example, United Technologies, which pretty much owns half of those brands that we just listed, those guys, Carrier, that's pretty much their beta version. Whenever they launch their Carrier, they wait for a year, and if there's any bugs in the Carrier units that they launch for their air conditioner or their furnace, they fix those bugs, and a year later, another one is launched under the name Bryant. And any bugs that were there, they fixed them for the Bryant. But essentially, a lot of times there is no bugs. The insides of, for example, of Carrier, Bryant, and Payne are all the same. The labels change, one will say Bryant, other one Carrier, other one Payne, but once you open them up, the insides and the components are all the same. And United Technologies is the most notorious for that, and frankly, they do own a lot of those brands. Comfort Maker, Tempstar, they all look pretty similar to each other as well. And the whole list that I went over, by all means, that is not an exhaustive list. There's a ton of brands out there. The ones that I went over are just the more common ones that you see out there. So after hearing all of that, of course there will still be people that'll ask me, Jay, we understand all of that, we get it. But if your air conditioner or your furnace dies, which brand will you get for yourself? And yes, I do work on a lot of units and I see which ones break more often. So personally, even though I would just go for whatever is the best deal, if I had to choose, I would probably choose either a Trane or a Lennox. Those to me seem like they're the most reliable out of all the units that I see. And I also want to mention when I get myself a new unit, I personally will avoid anything high efficiency or variable speed, just because if I ever have to replace those parts, for example, a high efficiency or a variable speed inducer motor for a furnace would cost about 4 times as much as a regular inducer motor on a furnace. And also, high efficiency furnaces, they have 2 heat exchangers instead of 1. And that's pretty much the guts of the unit. So the second heat exchanger, it condenses, it has water in it that flows through it, and that just adds more chances that there might be some rust, there might be some corrosion that happens because of that. If something was not installed correctly, or if it's not pitched correctly at install, down the road there will be problems. I know Carrier had problems, a chronic problem with their heat exchangers, the secondary heat exchangers, but that's a whole nother topic. For air conditioners, the more high efficient the air conditioner is, if it's a 2-stage compressor, if there's control boards in there, that's just that much more opportunities for something to go wrong, and those parts are much more expensive than anything that a basic air conditioner would have. So are those units a lot more efficient? Yes, the answer is definitely yes. They do save power, they do save you on the energy bill, they are a lot more efficient, but if you have to do any repairs on them, that's going to cost you more, and there's a good chance that that unit will not last as long. So in my opinion, the energy savings are not worth the expenses incurred. But of course, all of that is just my personal opinion, and everybody is entitled to their own opinion of what they think is best for them, which brings me to ask, this whole time I've been talking at you, but whoever's watching me right now, what do you think? What is the best brand air conditioner out there? What have you had good luck with? What lasted a long time? You barely ever had to repair it or anything like that? Or if you're an HVAC technician, what do you think? What's your opinion? You see these units every day, furnaces and air conditioners. Which brand do you think is the most reliable? Which one is the best? Which one would you get for yourself? So please do share your opinions if you're a homeowner or if you're a technician with everybody else in the comments below. A lot of times the stuff in the comments section, the content or the value of that is almost as good as everything in the video. So the more comments, the merrier. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to mash that like button on the way out, and we'll see you next time. And if you're still here and not in the comment section below, then I'll leave you with this challenge right here. Try to find 10 differences in these 2 pictures within 30 seconds. The time starts now.